It's springtime, and that means beautiful blooms, chirping birds, and danger lurking in your garden. Today, we're talking about 10 springtime poisons that can turn a playful afternoon into a trip to the emergency vet. Before we jump into the list, let's talk about why this is important. Last spring, a terrible tragedy befell a family in South Carolina. Stephanie and Tony Evans were enjoying their new vacation home with their two beloved dogs, Maisie and Murphy. One day, the dogs wandered into the yard and ate what Stephanie thought were crab apples. Unfortunately, they were actually sago palm seeds, which are highly poisonous. By the time Stephanie rushed them to the vet, it was already too late for Maisie. The vet team did everything they could, but tragically, Maisie couldn't be saved. Murphy, however, initially seemed to respond to treatment. Stephanie and Tony brought him home hopeful for a recovery. Sadly, the effects of the toxin were too much for Murphy's body to handle. Despite their best efforts, Murphy's health declined after returning home, and they had to make the incredibly difficult decision to have him euthanized. This heartbreaking story is a stark reminder that keeping our pets safe from poisonous plants is crucial. Alright, let's start our list of 10 springtime poisons to keep your furry friends away from. Sago palm. As we just learned, this popular landscaping plant is all bad news for pets. Every part of it is toxic, especially the seeds. Just 1 or 2 seeds from a sago is enough to poison cats and dogs. This plant can damage your dog's or cat's GI tract, central nervous system, and liver. Signs of poisoning include loss of appetite, vomiting, diarrhea, jaundice, black tarry stool, unsteady gait, tremors, seizure, and even coma. You will have to hospitalize your pet for decontamination. They will induce vomiting, and it can only be safely done by a veterinarian. They may also give activated charcoal to bind the poison. IV fluids are commonly used in poisoning cases. Your vet may prefer extra medications and supportive care depending on the severity of your dog's health condition. Mushrooms. Spring rains bring out the mushrooms. Most of them are harmless, but many varieties are poisonous to cats and dogs. Dogs are more likely to ingest them as they sniff around and tend to chew whatever they can. Symptoms can range from vomiting to diarrhea, organ failure, and even death. If your pet ingests poisonous mushrooms before you take them to the vet, give N-acetylcysteine, also called NAC, and milk thistle right away. NAC is very beneficial for improving outcomes of mushroom toxicosis. Blue-green algae. This algae blooms in warm weather in non-moving bodies of water such as ponds, lakes, and rivers. If you don't clean their water bowl, this substance will grow in their bowls too. It can be deadly to your dogs and cats if they drink from contaminated water. Therefore, you mustn't allow your dogs swim in still water, and you must clean their bowls. The first poisoning signs can develop as soon as your doggy gets out of the water and can rapidly worsen before you get them to a veterinarian. Sadly, even with aggressive treatment including IV fluids, blood transfusions, and appropriate medications, your pet may not recover if they consume blue-green algae. For your info, some premium pet food producers are adding spirulina to their formula nowadays. This type of health-giving supplements are entirely different from those naturally grow in lakes and ponds, and they are safe to use. Tulips and hyacinths. The bulbs of these popular flowers are toxic, not the leaves. Symptoms of poisoning by one of these plants can include mouth irritation, drooling, vomiting, diarrhea, increase in heart rate, and changes in breathing. There's no antidote if your pet is poisoned by eating a tulip or hyacinth bulb, and severe symptoms need immediate treatment. Lilies. These beautiful blooms are a springtime staple, but for cats, they can be deadly. Even a small nibble or a sip of the water from the vase can cause kidney failure. Easter lilies, tiger lilies, Japanese show, stargazer, rubric, and day lily are all toxic to your cats. Signs of lily poisoning include loss of appetite, vomiting, hiding behavior, abnormal urination, lethargy, and progressive kidney damage. Treatment typically involves a 2-day hospital stay, aggressive decontamination, anti-vomiting meds, and IV fluids. With immediate treatment, the vast majority of cats can survive this type of poisoning, but still, you better be safe than sorry.
Remember, even a small amount of a toxic plant can make your pet very sick. Take note of ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center's number, 888-426-4435, or the Pet Poison Helpline 855-764-7661. You will find a downloadable list of toxic plants in the description below. It's totally free and safe, as Google Docs will do the virus check for you.
Early intervention is key. Now, let's get back to our list. Lily of the Valley. These sweetly scented flowers contain cardiac glycosides, which can disrupt your pet's heart rhythm. Dog Bane, Foxglove, milkweed, caluncho, and oleander fall into the same category. Signs your dog or cat has eaten one of these plants can include vomiting, diarrhea, a drop in heart rate or severe cardiac arrhythmia, and seizures. You need to take your pet immediately to a veterinarian for decontamination, IV fluids, and supportive medications. Daffodils. Every part of daffodils contain an alkaloid called lycorine that can irritate the tissues of your pet's mouth and throat and cause excessive drooling. Similar to tulips and hyacinths, daffodils can cause vomiting and diarrhea if ingested. In more serious cases, heart and respiratory problems can occur. In such a severe case, you need to rush your pet to a veterinarian immediately. Crocuses. This plant is also known as the meadow saffron. While spring crocuses cause mild stomach upset, the autumn crocus is highly toxic. If your dog or cat tastes a meadow saffron crocus, she can experience severe vomiting, gastrointestinal bleeding, liver and kidney damage, and respiratory failure. Symptoms of toxicity from this plant can appear immediately upon ingestion up to several days later. As you take your pet to a clinic or an animal hospital, bring along the plant if possible. Cycads. These palm-like plants are toxic to both cats and dogs, causing liver damage and severe bleeding. Their roots contain a liver toxin, and both cats and dogs can be poisoned. However, dogs are more often attracted to the plants as they sniff, lick, and chew more. The first sign you can recognize will be vomiting, like in most of the cases, and blood in the stool, cause this toxin prevents blood clotting. Believe it or not, some fertilizers can be more harmful than the plants if your pets ingest them. Fertilizers containing blood meal, bone meal, disulfotin or another type of organophosphate, and iron are highly toxic to your pets. So make sure you read the label well before fertilizing your lawn in spring. So we covered 10 springtime poisons to be aware of. I want to remind you that a downloadable comprehensive list of toxic plants for cats and dogs is in the description. If you liked this video, maybe you'll like this one too.